Let me begin with something simple. Just 10 words. 10 words that should have everyone paying very close attention. America's Secretary of Defense looked straight into the cameras and said, "We will shoot to destroy." At almost the same moment, Iran's Joint Military Command responded with 6 words of their own. Hands are on the trigger. Those 10 words together are the most dangerous thing said in this entire conflict. Not because of the threats. Both sides have been threatening each other for 60 days straight. What makes them truly alarming is what they don't say. There are no conditions attached. No, if you do this, then we do that. The defense secretary didn't say we'll shoot if Iran attacks. He said we will shoot to destroy. Period. Iran didn't say we'll respond if the blockade continues. They said the slightest mistake will trigger full force. No conditions, no off-ramp. Both sides removed every single condition on the exact same day. Both are now saying, we don't need you to do anything specific. We're ready right now. Here's what most coverage is missing. They're treating these as two separate stories. America showing military toughness, Iran issuing typical fiery rhetoric. But they're not separate. They're two sides of the same question. And that question is, why is China staying completely silent? China, the nation keeping Iran's economy breathing. China, whose tankers are moving through the Strait of Hormuz as we speak. China, the country with more influence over Iran than anyone else on Earth. China has seen both statements, and China has said nothing. No call for restraint, no private warning to either side, just silence. That silence around these 10 words is the real story. America's defense secretary has now publicly ordered forces to shoot to destroy. Iran has placed its forces on trigger with the lowest possible threshold. Any mistake. The 60-day legal window for conflict just expired. CENTCOM has prepared 3 major strike options, including a daring special forces plan to seize Iran's uranium stockpiles by force. Gas prices are sitting at $4.30 a gallon. And China? Not a word. This isn't ordinary diplomatic neutrality. This is something much more calculated. I call it the confidence ladder, and right now, both America and Iran have climbed to the very top rung at the exact same time. Let's talk about the American side first. When the Secretary of Defense publicly says, "shoot to destroy," he's doing more than flexing muscle. He's fundamentally changing the rules of engagement out in the open. He's telling every American commander in the Gulf that lethal force isn't just allowed. It's expected in any serious encounter. That public declaration narrows the room for any individual commander to show restraint. If an Iranian fast boat makes a risky approach after this statement, the commander who hesitates is now directly contradicting the public guidance from the top civilian leader. The statement doesn't just warn Iran, it makes an operational mistake far more likely to turn deadly. And here's what Iran heard in that message. America issued this order from the exact same military position it's held for 60 days. No new carrier groups, no fresh surge in forces, same blockade, same aircraft, same readiness level. When a superpower announces shoot to destroy without adding new capability, it signals something important on the confidence ladder. They're using strong words because they're not yet ready to use stronger weapons. Now look at Iran's statement. Every previous warning in this conflict had an off switch. We'll respond if you bomb again. We'll escalate if you attack our allies. Those conditions kept a fragile balance. But this time, no condition. Just slightest mistake. Any error by any American asset in the Gulf or the Strait becomes the trigger. That is the lowest threshold Iran has ever publicly set, and this is where the danger becomes clear. CENTCOM has 3 ready options on the table: a sharp wave of strikes on infrastructure, a ground operation to seize control of Hormuz, and a special forces mission to physically take Iran's highly enriched uranium. All 3 plans require American forces to operate in positions where mistakes can happen. Fast-moving boats, complex urban environments, underground facilities. Iran has now said any mistake will be met with full force. CENTCOM has told the president those high-risk options are ready. That gap between the two statements is the most dangerous space in this entire conflict. And still, China says nothing. Why? Because China is the economic foundation making both of these extreme positions sustainable at the same time. America can afford to issue a shoot to destroy order because its economy can absorb $4.30 gas. Iran can afford to keep its finger on the trigger with no exit condition because China continues buying 1.71 million barrels of its oil every single day through its shadow fleet. Both triggers are loaded. Both sides can afford to keep them loaded. And the one country that makes that financial reality possible has chosen silence. China isn't neutral, it's profiting. Every single day, both sides stay at the top of the confidence ladder without pulling the trigger. China's dark fleet keeps moving oil at record prices. China's massive strategic petroleum reserve, bought at much lower prices before the conflict, grows more valuable by the day. Meanwhile, America spends hundreds of millions daily maintaining 3 carrier groups and the blockade. China spends nothing militarily and earns handsomely on the commercial side. This arrangement, where both sides talk tough but neither fires, is the most financially beneficial scenario for Beijing. Both nations have climbed their respective sides of the confidence ladder through a series of careful steps. Iran closed parts of Hormuz, but let Chinese, Russian, and Indian tankers through. America didn't confront China over it. Iran rebuilt its missile and drone capabilities during the ceasefire. America didn't impose new consequences. On the other side, America maintained the blockade and turned back dozens of ships. Iran didn't treat it as an immediate trigger for all-out war. Both have pushed right up to the edge without going over. Now they're both at the top. The next step is pulling the trigger. The only country with the leverage to tell both sides to climb back down is China, and China remains silent. This isn't indifference. It's the most precise position possible for a nation that benefits from both triggers staying loaded without either one actually firing. Watch these next few days very carefully. Watch for any ambiguous movement by Iranian vessels near American assets in the narrowest part of the strait. Watch whether those 3 CENTCOM strike options get further leaks or quiet confirmations. And most importantly, watch whether China finally breaks its silence with even a single diplomatic statement naming these escalations. Because the moment China speaks, that's when we'll know the current arrangement is no longer serving its interests. 2 nations have their hands on their triggers. The one country that could de-escalate both has chosen to say nothing. That silence is speaking volumes. This version keeps the exact same facts, length, and analytical depth while sounding completely fresh, human, and engaging for YouTube voiceover. It flows naturally like a thoughtful, experienced narrator explaining a high-stakes story, ready for any tweaks.